Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to run through a list of apps and add-ons that I use for iRacing. In my opinion, these just help improve the overall experience. This list, in all cases, they are free. Most of them have some sort of donation you can make, and if you're in a position to do so, I always encourage to. Sometimes it unlocks some other features, other times it just helps the developers, and they're doing great jobs here for the community, so I always encourage to make us at least a small donation if you're in a position to do so. But otherwise, they're at least have free versions that get you the functionality that I'm going to speak about today. So let's get into it with number one. Alright, so the first app on my list, which is the top one in my opinion, is CrewChief. If you have not heard of CrewChief before, this is basically a replacement for the in-game spotters. In my opinion, it's better than the in-game spotters, and then also comes with a whole lot of other features. So first thing I'll point out up here, well, it does replace the iRacing spotters. You can use it in just about every other sim you can think of. So if you play Assetto Corsa, ACC, F1, any of that, you can use this and get in-game spotters for games that don't have them built in. But for iRacing specifically, I use it because I just prefer the spotters from this. You also get some customization. You can put your name in, so they'll refer to you by your name. You do get to change the voice of the crew chief along with the spotter, so I have a couple different voices if you'd like. Beyond that, there's a whole bunch of various options. I don't use it, but there is voice recognition, so you can use voice controls while racing to tell it how much fuel to put in, to change tires, and any number of things. If you go into properties, there's a whole bunch of options that I think a lot of people aren't even aware of. I'm not going to go through this all because there is a ton of it. But the ones I find most useful, if I can find it in here, is right here. So enable iRacing auto refueling. So basically when you're in a race, as soon as you enter the pits, it's automatically going to set the fuel that it calculates you need for the rest of the race. So it avoids you having to do all the math, especially if you haven't tested or anything beforehand and you're trying to do it while racing. This will do it for you. And you can set the options on how it will basically calculate that. So based on max fuel consumption, otherwise it's taking your average fuel consumption. If you're a little worried, you can set it to always put a couple extra liters in from whatever it does calculate. In my experience, the auto calculations have always been spot on. So I don't really use these at all, but it's a very convenient feature. Another one in here, if you were to look through the various options, is a pit lane countdown. Somewhere in here. I can't find it at the moment, but in here you can set it to a pit lane countdown. So once you're in the pits, as you're approaching your stall, it will count you down. But you can set it to say how far you are or whatever. I prefer personally the countdown. It just counts you down, and you know when you're reaching your pit stall, so you're avoiding any just passing by or anything if you're not quite sure where it is. And then there's other options. You can turn on swearing if you want a little more adult content from your spotter. And then just a whole bunch of options to dial it in and everything else. But this all combined is why this is my number one add-on. It's completely free. The link for this will be down in the description. Same with all these apps I'm showing. But it really helps out. It's a little more immersive in my opinion. It really helps with convenience while playing. And to me, it's just a great add-on here. So if you have not tried this in the past, I highly recommend you try this one. And on to the next one. Okay, number 2 on my list is trading paints. So if you want to be able to use custom liveries, at least so others can see it, and also see others' custom liveries while they're out on track and not just see the plain white ones, you're going to want to use trading paints. So trading paints, the app itself is just this little add-on, not much to see there. There's a couple options such as started on system startup, etc. The website is where the main action is. So if you do make custom paints yourself, this is where you upload them. You can set it to be public or whatnot so others can use it, or if you just want it for yourself, you upload it here. But the showroom is where if you're not into making the paints yourself, you can go through and pick out amongst hundreds, if not thousands, of various paints for the different cars that people have made. So you can pick the individual vehicle you're looking for. So in this case, BMW M4, or GT4, I should say. And you've just got all these various paints to choose from. So if you were to like this one, you just click on it. You would hit race this paint. It would automatically set it to your car. So next time you're in game, you will have this paint scheme on your car, and others will also be able to, well, others that are also using trading paints will also be able to see it. It just adds to the immersion of the game. Obviously doesn't affect gameplay in any way, but when you're not using trading paints, you just see a whole lot of plain white liveries out there from people that are, and you can't see it. So in my opinion, this is number 2 to really get that immersion. It's very simple. You install it, and then you just go to the website, you select the paint you want to drive, you hit race this paint, and you're good to go. So again, link is in the description. And on to number 3. Okay, number 3 on my list is SimHub. Again, this is free. There is some functionality that gets unlocked once you make a donation. That being said, prior to me making a donation and after hasn't changed anything for me. Every feature that I used was all available in the completely free version. But again, this is a tremendous app. If you're able to support the developer, I suggest you do. Again, like CrewChief, this does work with multiple sims, as you can see on the front page here. I've got it set to iRacing at the moment. What I use SimHub for, is specifically in my case, is for my butt kicker. Where you have the option over here to shake it base shakers. So if you have a butt kicker or any other kind of transducer, this is tremendous free program for dialing in the various vibrations, different effects you get when you're for whatever's going on, whatever you want to feel in the sim. But not everyone has a transducer, but it's still got plenty of other functionality in here. You've got dashboards you can have if you have a second screen, or you want to set up a phone or anything else as a dashboard. You can use it for various layouts here, or templates. It connects to the game, you get all the information there. Shake it motors, so if you don't use transducers but you have vibration motors, you can use that. So overall, there's a few things you can use SimHub for. It's a great piece of software. I've got a third, but obviously it kind of depends on what you how your setup is. If you don't have another dashboard, if you don't have transducers, Yeah, there's probably not much reason to use this software, but if you do, the software is tremendous. So that's pretty much all to talk about this one. Again, look in the description, and on to number 4. Okay, so next on my list here is IRffb. This one I'm not actually using too much anymore since I've changed my wheel to direct drive. Um, but what this is a program that takes the raw force feedback signal from iRacing, filters it through here, and then you get their version of force feedback. What's nice is you do get a lot more options here to tune it how you want compared to what you can do in game. You can see here I don't actually have it connected to anything at the moment. But the reason I don't use this now, but it's still on my list, is when I did have my Thrustmaster TSPC, I really, really enjoyed this. I use this 100% of the time. I just thought it was a great upgrade to the force feedback. I have since upgraded to a direct drive wheel, which I will be doing a video on soon. I've found with the VRS direct drive, this really didn't make too much of a difference anymore, so I've stopped using it. But when I was on the TSPC, a belt-driven wheel, I really did enjoy the force feedback I got through IRffb a lot more. So if, like most people out there, you are running a belt-driven wheel, check this out. It takes some fiddling around, getting it installed properly, and involves installing VJoy. It takes a little work, but it does make a difference. All the instructions on getting it installed and everything else is on the website. Again, link is down in the description. But it really does make in my opinion anyways, make a difference. Of course, force feedback is... everyone's got their own opinion. What feels good to me doesn't necessarily feel good to you. But I do encourage you to try this one out. Okay, next on my list is the RaceLab apps. I'm fairly new to using this. I haven't used it a lot for reasons I'll get into in a second. But if you are looking for better overlays, whether it's for streaming or just in game, things that look nicer, things that give you a little more information, this is a great app. If you come to the overlays here, you get to see, so if you want a relative, you can have this. You can have it show some more info here. You can have a standings overlay. There it is. That will break down the various classes. If it's multi-class, show fastest laps. Fuel calculators. There's a bunch of stuff in here without going through it all. The free version will get you most of the stuff. There is a paid subscription version where you'll see some of the stuff here that's got the pro icons. So those basically you need to subscribe if you want to have the access to those options. I've found with the free version, it's got most of what I want anyways. But if you just want to be able to have some more info, especially I find a lot of that stuff is handy if you're using it for streaming purposes. I've started using this for streaming. I do use it in game when I'm playing on my monitor. The downside to this and why I don't use it a whole lot is if you watched a lot of my streams and stuff and videos, I do play in the Oculus Quest quite often, or most of the time, really. So this does have a VR option. Unfortunately, it is not compatible with Oculus. You use other VR headsets. I haven't got a chance to try it, but by all accounts, the overlays will work fine within the VR headset. But Oculus, it does not. There are some workarounds of pinning windows and stuff in the Oculus app. It's just all a little bit janky though and doesn't look as nice, so I don't use it when I'm in VR. But when I am on monitor, I definitely use this, and definitely for streaming is a much nicer look, along with just more info for those viewing your stream. So take a look. Like I said, the free version comes with plenty of options. You get, I'm pretty sure, all the various overlays in the free option. It's just some of the options within each overlay are locked for the pro version. Here you've got a radar, which is handy if you play on a single monitor to see the cars that are around you. But yeah, this is a great app for replacing the overlays that are already in game and adding some extra stuff that's not in game itself. All right, so this is the last one on my list. This is one I came across a few months ago. Has made my life a lot easier, especially now that I do play a little more on monitor than I used to when I stream and whatnot. But if you do use VR, this is a very handy little app here. Basically, you can, this is all the different options within iRacing here. Graphics options, control options, anything in the .ini files, all that. So one, instead of opening up those files, you can come in here and change it, change the options, which I do find a bit easier. But the main reason I use this is you get to save presets. So when I'm playing on monitor with my computer, I can have all the settings turned all the way up, get the game looking as nice as possible. Where when I'm playing on VR, I do have to dial things back a bit. Instead of having to just go in and change all the options every time, remember what I had them set to last time, you can save the profiles here. So you can see iRacing current is just whatever's the options currently are, whatever you've put in last. But I've got a monitor profile saved and a VR profile saved. So if I want to play in monitor next time, I just hit that, hit install. Now all my graphics settings and everything else is all that I've set for monitors is all there when I open the game. If I want to go back to VR the next time, just hit VR, install. Now all the graphic settings and stuff I had set for VR, they're all in there the next time I open up the game. So if you do play VR, if you do bounce back and forth occasionally between monitor or VR, this definitely makes it a much easier, much more convenient way than going in and change. Like for me, for instance, in the past when I would play on monitor, I would just leave my VR settings in there. I didn't want to change it back and forth every time. So I play on monitor, but obviously playing at way less good looking graphics than I could have been, but it's just I didn't want to change everything every time. This makes it super easy to go back and forth. And if you're like me and you do play with both, this really is one you should check out. Again, completely free, and again, the links are down in the description. All right, and that will do it. So those are the 6 apps I routinely use for iRacing, in some cases for other sims as well, that in my opinion, whether through immersion, convenience, anything else, make a difference, make it a better experience. Some of it, you may not agree with me, but they are all free, so doesn't hurt to try them out. It's not going to cost you anything. And that's going to do it for this video. So if you have any add-ons or anything else I haven't mentioned in this video that you think is worth a shout out, please put them in the comments below. I'll check them out. Or if you have any settings or anything else you use for these various apps, put them in the comments, let people know. Obviously, I didn't get too detailed in each individual app here for settings and stuff. But yeah, give your opinions down below. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like, and I will see you all on the next video.